2018 has been a very interesting year, everyone. It is almost at the end of December, so that means that January is around the corner, so it's really good to reflect on what happened. And you guys all know that every single year, I love to do the top 10 best decks of the year. So last year, I did the top 10 best Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks of 2017, but now, I'm coming at you guys with the top 10 best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! For the 2018 year. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said before, 2018 has been a very interesting year, and these are the top 10 decks that I think were really dominant. It is so fun to do a yearly recap like this. So if you guys want to see more videos like these when I talk to you guys face to face, make sure you guys smash that 1,000 plus likes. That'll be absolutely amazing. Each time I make videos like this when I talk to you guys face to face, I just feel more comfortable. I feel like we're getting closer and closer. Okay, you know what? That's kind of too close. I'm sorry. If I do forget to mention any of your decks, please make sure you guys leave it in the comment section below. And if you guys want to host more of the channel, be sure to get your Dark Witches and Girl playmat today. You know, it is almost Christmas, so make sure, you know what I mean, give one of your friends this for Christmas. If you guys are in a holiday mood, a jolly mood, you know what I mean, make sure you guys visit tx1.com to get your holiday edition Dark Witches and Girl playmat today. You guys are super duper awesome. For those of you who order these playmats, you guys are super amazing. I cannot thank you guys enough for all your support. Anyway guys, without further ado, let's get started with this video. For the number 10, okay, the deck that just never dies. For number 10, we got Burning Abyss. Burning Abyss happens to just always sneak its way into the top 10 best decks. Previously, before the December ban list, this deck was actually really popular because you're actually able to utilize cards like Destiny Hero Malicious, Fable Solkius in the deck as well, and having level 6 turbo monsters in the deck like, you know, Malicious and also Fable Solkius gives you the access to BEATRICE really fast. One of the most notable cards that BEATRICE likes to dump to the graveyard is obviously Farfa. You know, Farfa is a really good monster to actually help interrupt plays during your opponent's turn. BEATRICE can also send cards like Fairy Tale Snow in the graveyard. The deck is always consistent. The deck is really good at maining a ton of hand traps, and the deck is just really good at making Dante. And with the release of obviously cards like the danger monsters like Jackalope, the deck has just gone up in consistency by a ton because you're actually able to put 2 level 3 monsters on the board really easily with cards like Danger Tsushinoko and also Jackalope to help you get access to that first turn Dante. One of the main strategies that Burning Abyss had this year was to actually go second and try to OTK your opponent as quickly as possible, okay? Number 9 spot, we got Pendulums, guys, okay? Pendulums used to be at full power, especially in January. The deck was just super strong. It was one of the contenders with True Dragos, being able to put up, you know, multiple negates on the board, and Steven was the one that actually created those type of negate boards, which is insane. So shout outs to Trip Gaming, man. The deck was just really dominant early on within this year, but as the deck got hit, the deck slowly kind of, you know, starting to fade away a little bit. The fact that the deck just able to put Jacko, the fact that the deck was just super consistent, the fact that the deck is able to FTK this year, there's no reason not to put this deck as one of the top 10 best decks, especially with ASTROGRAPH Sorcerer. Oh my god, guys. You guys all know how powerful Pendulums are with the release of Electromite this year. Electromite literally broke the ceiling of this deck. Off to the number 8 spot, we got 60 card decks. So this can be 60 card Lightsworn, 60 card Dinosaurs, so many 60 card variant decks. But you guys remember the time where 60 card decks were really a thing. Fairy Tale Snow was a huge problem. That grass was greener is a problem. You left on offering for grass, you automatically just win the door. The deck just has so many feel to actually put a significant amount of damage on the board that it's crazy. First turn, you know, opening up with OPHRYS Scorpio is like game. You open up OPHRYS Scorpio, you essentially have like 4 or 5 negates on the board with Fairy Tale Snow in the graveyard, which is really crazy. Some builds like the Dinosaur variant put up Ultra Conductor Triangle on the board, having multiple hand traps in hand with Amaterasu, Tornado Dragon with Abyss Dweller, with Triple Omega. The deck can just do so many things that your opponent will have a hard time to come back with. Usually what the deck can do really consistently is make 3 Omegas, you know, end up with Abyss Dweller, a couple rank 4 XYZs, and at the same time have an Ultimate Conductor Triangle on the board with a quad list, which is really problematic to deal with. So 60 card decks is just really powerful, and getting access to Minerva to actually mill your Fairy Tale Snows or Mizukis to the graveyard, and the fact that it had access to Brilliant Fusion, the fact that it had access to OPHRYS Scorpio, Invoker was also a thing, so you get access to Curious, Giant Rex. Like, there's so many crazy things you guys can actually do with 60 card decks. For the number 7 spot, we got True Dragos. True Dragos has been one of the most dominant decks in today's format. Masterpiece was still unbanned, by the way, guys, so that deck was just super insane. The Masterpiece is one of the most problematic monsters to actually deal with, and to actually flip a floodgate against against your opponent with a walking masterpiece on the board with multiple cards in the graveyard that you're able to banish to pop cards in the field. There are variations where they play an extra deck where you have Ghost Reaper in the side deck to actually banish problematic cards like Electromite. But one of the most popular ones are obviously the Floodgate version where you play 0 cards in the extra deck, which utilize cards like the Monarchs ERUPT, which is like an auto win against most decks. The deck also had instant access to Rivalry of Warlords, GOZEN match. Like, it's just like a really strong Floodgate deck. Your opponent cannot play through the defenses whatsoever. Until this day, even when Masterpiece got hit on the ban list, the deck is just still really playable with 3 Ignis and also with the Dynamite being released off the ban list. The True Dragon was one of the most consistent deck this year. It had access to Desires, Power Duality, Card of Demise. So with these reasons, I put True Dragon at the number 7 spot. Off the number 6 spot, this deck is relatively really new. We got Thunder Dragons. Thunder Dragons was recently released in Soul Fusion. The fact that it can just OTK your opponent really fast. And one of the most important facts about Thunder Dragons is that they're able to put out Thunder Dragon Colossus. Thunder Dragon Colossus is a walking mistake, alright? And you guys don't know what mistake does. It doesn't let your opponent search any cards directly from their deck to their hand. And once you have Colossus on the board, you're more likely just going to win the duel. And the fact that how the deck was just so anti-meta to actually stop majority of the decks from searching cards directly from the deck to their hand poses a huge threat for your opponent. So there are so many variations of this deck that just topped multiple events this year. Even though the deck was just released about a month and a half ago, the deck is just still really powerful in today's metagame. And with these reasons, this deck deserves to be in the top 10 best decks of 2018 by far. Alright guys, let's narrow it down to top 5. For the top 5 best decks 2018, for the number 5th spot, we got you guys Altergeist. Altergeist dodged like 3 ban lists. The deck did not get touched whatsoever, alright? MULTIFAKER is still at 3, Meadowseek is still at 3. The deck can main deck Floodgates, which is insane. The deck has a walking compulsory evacuation device every single turn, and the fact that MULTIFAKER is just super duper broken. The fact that you can just recycle that card every single turn with a Silk is just insane. The deck has built-in Floodgates, which is able to negate monster effect, which can be really problematic. The deck has personal spoofing, which get access to MULTIFAKER directly from your deck to your hand. Meadowseek is able to send any problematic cards from the field to the graveyard. Marionetter sets a trap card directly from the deck. And overall, for the fact that the deck was just super consistent, and the fact that the deck was just so stun heavy in today's metagame, the deck has also adapted to combat against today's metagame by maining cards like, Secret Village of the Spellcasters, which pose a huge threat, especially for the Sky Striker matchup. So with these reasons, guys, I put Altergeist at the number 5th spot. Off the number 4 spot, we got TRICKSTARS. And TRICKSTARS in general, guys, is a really powerful engine. It's a 1-card engine. It's Acme Life Stage, Candina, Summon Candina, Search Reincarnation, Draw, GG, shake my hand. You guys know what I mean. The deck was just really consistent, and the deck has multiple tops this year, and especially with the variation of TRICKSTAR Sky Strikers, the deck just took multiple spots in YCS tops that there's no reason not to put this deck in the top 10 best deck. The fact that the deck just has one of the most consistent FTKs out there, and Draw Reincarnation is technically an FTK. Technically an FTK, guys, because your opponent loses their entire hand and then they can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! And the next turn you just OTK them, right? So since the new time rule has taken into effect, TRICKSTAR LYCORIS burn is very important. So especially in time, like, I've seen players where they get frustrated and because they drew 1 card and then they lost 400 off Life Stage and also LYCORIS, and that time is gone, your opponent had 400 more life points more than you do, you automatically just lose the duel, right? So the deck just had so many like huge winning factors in the deck, especially with the new time rule, and also countered the Danger FTK because TRICKSTARS, like Danger FTKs, like has a really hard matchup against TRICKSTARS is because each time they draw a card, they're just burned for LYCORIS. And the fact that it can main deck like 12 hand traps was just really insane. So for these reasons, I put TRICKSTARS at the number 4 spot. Off to the number 3 spot, we got FTKs, man. Specifically, the Cannon Soldier FTK. This year, guys, has been the official year for the FTK. And yeah, man, FTKs has been one of the most problematic decks in today's format. There's not only the Cannon Soldier FTK, there's also the Pendulum FTK with the Starving Venom as well, which is really problematic. So I'm gonna just categorize those 2 decks as the FTK deck. Cannon Soldier based deck, the Firewall loop with Cannon Soldier and also the Dark Roads, just really insane to just burn your opponent's life points per game. And that's one of the reasons why Firewall Dragon got banned. It's actually able to help facilitate the FTK. The deck was just so noticed that everyone just hated playing this format is because FTK did exist. Off to the number 2 spot, guys, we got Warriors. And I'm talking about Dark Warriors, Goki, all those warrior type decks. The deck that basically just makes you Gumblar for 4 and also creates the U-Lock. I'm really glad that Firewall Dragon got banned. Without Firewall, they're unable to create those types of board anymore. So really good that Firewall Dragon got banned. Obviously, Golki is one of the most consistent decks. You know, being able to just hand loop your opponent for 6 with Aqua Dolphin was insane. There's also Rongo Turbo decks as well that makes Rongo first turn, which is technically an FTK because you make Rongo and your opponent's unable to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So that was really annoying as well. The fact that I can create a U-Link board with Firewall Dragon is just like really problematic, man. And 100%, it was one of the most notable decks this year. And with the release of Summon Sorcerer, Summon Sorc literally made the deck super broken. And at the same time, you know, adding the Dark Engine, Armageddon Knight, Malicious into the deck, that deck just has gone from like 8 out of 10 consistency to 100 out of 10 consistency. That's how consistent the deck was at just putting U-Link boards. Off to the #1 spot, we got Sky Strikers. There's no need to further explain why Sky Strikers are the best deck. The deck didn't really get hit other than Hornet going down to 1, but that didn't really matter because Ray is Bay, Engage Store at 3, Anchor Store at 3. The deck just has multiple tops, and the deck is one of the most consistent deck in today's meta game. And just by sheer numbers alone, Sky Strikers just, you know, dominates every premier event and always dominates every premier tops by taking up the most spots in every single YCSs. So that's pretty much for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. And there we have it, guys. The year recap. This was 2018 in a nutshell. There's also honorable mentions. Decks like Heroes, you know, Gumblar Heroes with the release of Stratos off the ban list. Shoutouts to Heroes. There's also shoutouts to Spirals. Shoutouts to ABCs as well. Shoutouts to Dinosaurs, man. If I'm missing any of the decks that I didn't mention in the top 10, please make sure you guys leave it in the comment section below so I can read your comments. And you know, it's really hard to narrow down the top 10 best decks, you know what I mean? But there we have it. That's just my top 10 best decks of 2018. I would just like to give you guys, you know, just a look back at the past on what overall happened this year. And let me tell you guys right now, this year has been hella a year. Man, it's crazy. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. That'll be absolutely amazing. Make sure you guys visit ts1.com and get your playmats today. This is your boy Sam from Team Sam signing out. Alright guys, peace.
I feel like Usain in the cheetah print. Talk fresh game, I don't need a minute. R.I.P. the game, I need a minute. Okay, let's proceed with it. I'm in the house, got the deed with it. These bozos always sneak this and they taking shots. I'm a keen with it, like no, this league business.